Hey everybody, welcome to this week's video. We'll start out by talking about 2 weeks ago we were at South Boston, Virginia. It was a pretty trying day for us. After about 5 laps of practice, the motor started making a funny noise, shut it down, and ended up it was a broken cam. It's something that, it seems like I'm saying this a lot here lately, it's something that's a freak thing that doesn't really happen. But it seems to somehow find a way to happen to us. But anyway, we were able to work through it. We keep a spare motor on the truck, which with these kind of problems happening to us, that kind of the spare parts are becoming more scarce and scarce. But anyway, we had pretty much the remainder of the second practice and through qualifying and that kind of stuff to get the motor swapped over. So my guys and Jason's guys and Jason and Daddy and everybody chipped in. Lots of teams came by offering support, wanting to know if we needed anything. So it's refreshing to know that even though there's guys you race against, they come by and offer their help. So we were able to get the motor swapped over. It was probably about 30 minutes before the race was supposed to start. We got it done and cranked and got it in and everything ready to go. The motor is a different, without getting too technical, it's a different size motor than what we had in the car that broke. So the weights on the car and all that kind of stuff were different. So we had to use NASCAR scales to get the car set up. Excuse me. So it's hard to get that done whenever here we use what we call our feed scales, our grain scales. That's what we've been using for, I don't know, going on 30 years now. But we use those here to get the car dialed in, to get the car set up. And then when you go to the track and use NASCAR scales, if you move to one side or another just a little bit, it can throw your weights off. So we were to the point where we had to do that to get the car set up. We had to move some lead around and that kind of stuff. So by the time we got that done, setup-wise, we had no idea where we were. We had to start last because we missed qualifying. So I think last was 17th. By the halfway break, I think we had made our way up to maybe 8th or 9th or 10th, something like that. I don't even remember. But the car at the beginning of the race was just super, super tight. So at the break, we made some adjustments to try to get the car freed up. There's only so much you can do to the car at the halfway break. So we threw some things at it, and in the second half of the race, the car was pretty free. So at the end of the day, we finished 6th. And it seems like here lately, somebody said, well, 6th is not too bad. Well, it's not, considering that we changed the motor and everything we had to go through. But 6th is not why we go to the racetrack. Knowing what we had stacked against us, and with the motor that we had to put in as our spare backup motor, and with the setup being off, 6th is not bad. But, I'm getting to the point where I'm tired of having to say or having to hear, well, that's not too bad. I want more than that. And I think we become a victim of our own success. Whenever you win, you want it again, and you want it again, and you want it again. My Facebook post the other day said that, it's not from lack of effort. I think we're probably working harder than if we'd have won 6 in a row. Because when you don't win, you work harder to try to get to that point. So anyway, with that being said, we're working really hard to try to get the car where it needs to be. Having to switch motors around and not being able to have the time to go test and stuff, it definitely hurts us. But we left that motor in the car. Let me take that back. That motor came out. My stadium motor was almost done. And basically what we had to do was he had everything there to put the stadium motor together. So Gable got it all put together, and we put that motor in my tour car to go to Langley this past weekend. So, that's going to put us behind just a little bit because, as you can see, I've got some work left to do on the stadium car, and Bowman Gray starts a week from this Saturday. I've got everything here basically to put it together. It's just a matter of doing it. But with everything else we've had going on, that's got me behind. And now that motor that goes in this car is in my tour car that I'm going to race at Caraway this weekend. So after Caraway, I'll take it out and put it in this car. So it's gotten us a little bit behind, but adversity sometimes is what drives a team to be better. So that's the way we're going to look at it. But this past weekend we went to Langley, Virginia. Langley is one of my favorite tracks. We usually run pretty good at Langley. They resurfaced it last year, and when we went up there, we were way off because we were told that it was the same old wore-out Langley that didn't have grip and wore tires. And then when we got there, it was super grip and didn't wear tires at all. So when we left here with a square peg and went up there and tried to put it in a round hole. So this year we were a little bit ahead of where we thought we needed to be compared to last year. So in practice, I thought the car was really good. We went out on old tires, and the car was driving really good. We made a couple of little adjustments. We put on a new set of tires and made what we call a qualifying run, and was second fastest in practice. I thought we were in really good shape, and come qualifying time, we were too aggressive. Let me back up just before qualifying. When I got ready to back up to go to tech, the power steering went out. So Jason and Daddy and helped my guys get the rack out, while I went at Langley. You have to take everything outside, so the hauler and all of our spare parts and everything was outside the track. So as I run across the track to go get the spare rack, I come back, they got the other rack off, we got all that straightened out. So they let me go out last to qualify because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to put any fluid down or anything like that. So as I'm sitting there, most people's first lap is faster. So in my mind, they're getting tight after their second lap. So we were way too aggressive with our qualifying setup and was pretty much spin out loose and qualified 8th. I was probably didn't show my guys how disappointed I was after qualifying, because I thought the lap we put up in practice would have been fast enough to be second. So, it was kind of disappointing that transpired that way, that we did that. But just like Roy used to tell me, I'd rather you try something and fail than to stay where you are and not get results and expect different results. So, we went for it, we tried, and it didn't work. The track, it seemed like the cars that were really fast in practice weren't that good in the race at the first half of the race, because from our experience Saturday night, the track got really, really loose in the race. So we were good in practice, and when the race started, we were, super, super loose. So we kind of bided our time. We caught a caution. We came in. We tightened the car up a little bit. Langley's kind of hard to pass. It's flat, and you're basically turning all the way around. There's not really much straightaway. The straightaways are D-shaped. So it was kind of hard to pass. By the halfway break came, we made our switch on our tires. We made some adjustments and tightened the car up a little bit more. And the first 20 laps, the car was really good. And from then on, I told them on the radio, I said, I don't think a 40-acre field would be big enough for the car to turn. It was just so tight. Excuse me. Long story short, at the end of the day, another 6th-place finish. It's just becoming to the point where I know consistency pays off. I know that. And I don't want to sound like Debbie Downer, but it's getting to the point where I'm getting tired of finishing 5th and 6th. I'm ready to run up front like I know we can. And, we're making some changes. We know the things that we need to do. It's just a matter of being able to carry through with them. The motor situation's got us a little bit behind, and the lack of practice, the lack of testing, that kind of stuff is hurting us. And, I ran into a guy that used to help another team last night at supper, and I told him, as many races as we running the Southern Modified Tour and running Bowman Gray, and then trying to run some of these Como Unwind races, we run so often that it probably spreads our resources a little bit thin, and it does hurt us. But the racer inside of us wants to go race and wants to do it. And there was a guy that did a story on us the other day, and he said, if you could sum up Myers Racing in one word, what would it be? And I said, racers. We are racers. We want to race. And I think that we are probably the only team in the South that runs every race there is to be run, modifieds. So, there is something to be said for that, and, we're proud of that. Does it hurt us? It probably does. But, it's what we do, and we find a way to take it one day at a time and to get through it and be as successful as possible. We've been blessed to have the success we've had. I'm not complaining by any means, but like I said, you become a victim of your own success to where you want more, you want to win, and, coming home with anything less than a trophy is disappointing. And when I get to the point where it's not disappointing, it's time to quit. So speaking about going to Langley, we stayed at Point Plaza Suites in Newport News, and Aaron took care of us. Super nice girl, super nice hotel. We'll be getting some information to the other teams, you know, for when we go back, because we've got 2 races at Langley this year. We'll go back in Labor Day. So if you're ever in that area, you know, make sure you stop in. They had an indoor pool. The kids got to play in for a little while. They had a super breakfast in the morning. We got to eat breakfast before we went out. Rooms are nice and clean. It was just a really nice place. So thank you to Aaron and Point Plaza Suites for taking care of us. And we'll definitely be staying there when we go back for Labor Day. But we're just trying to get things wrapped up here. You know, it just never ends. There's always something that tries to set you back. But, you know, like we've said before, it doesn't matter. You know, God's going to put you through storms, but if he's in the boat with you, you can guarantee you're going to make it through it. So that's what we're doing. That's the mentality that we have. On top of all the other stuff going on, I'm going to go and pick up Jade so she can be here for this weekend for Easter. I'm looking forward to that. Friday night, hopefully, Friday night, if we get everything worked out and all the details and get it all fixed up, Philip Smith and Steve-O are helping me get Slate's go-kart ready for him to go run at Woodleaf for his debut in a go-kart. I am excited, but at the same time, I'm a little nervous. I've never been nervous about racing when it was me, but anybody that's been through anything like this, and like my mom and daddy have with me and Jason, I'm finding out just how stressful that it can be. Debut this weekend, and we'll get all that done. I'm going to make that a priority. If I have to work till midnight a couple nights on this car to get it done, I will. But I want to make sure Slate gets his kart ready. So anyway, we're at Caraway coming up this weekend. It's the last race for the NASCAR Well and Southern Modified Tour before Bowman Gray starts. Bowman Gray starts a week from this Saturday. I think it's the 26th. It's a Friday. We'll qualify and practice on Friday, race on Saturday. It's the Hayes 200. We've been able to win that a couple times. We're looking forward to it. Got the same car, just putting a new body. We'll have, it's no surprise at this point, the paint scheme that we've got on the tour car will be on this car. So everybody's talked about how much they love it. I have caught some flack over the front bumper not being orange. Front bumper will be orange for Bowman Gray Stadium. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, Bowman Gray sometimes, at Bowman Gray you can have the best time of your life, or it can be the worst time and you want to be anywhere else. We're going to do everything we can to have the best time we can. And you know, sometimes the stadium, we've run there so long and we've been able to be successful there that it's a breath of fresh air when we travel and we do all the things that we're doing. And from week to week on the tour, you have to change your car so much for different tracks. When we go to Bowman Gray and we kind of get in that rhythm, your car basically stays the same from week to week, and you just do your preventive maintenance. So hopefully when Bowman Gray rolls around in a couple weeks, we'll be able to get that breath of fresh air and hopefully go out and win that Hayes 200, that first race of the year. But thanks to everybody that watches these videos. Thank you to everybody that came up at Langley. We got to see some new and familiar faces during the autograph session. Stephen designed a really cool autograph card for this year that we'll have at Caraway this weekend, but we'll have them at Bowman Gray for that first race. So I know a lot of people collect those cards, and they came up, I don't know if it was last year or before, we had the same card, and they said, oh, I already have that one. Well, you don't have this one. So make sure you come see us either before or after the race at that first race at Bowman Gray. We'll have some new T-shirts this year, some new hats. And Bowman Gray's here. It's hard to believe that Bowman Gray's already here, but this is where we grew up. This is where we race at weekly. We consider Bowman Gray our home track. So it's coming, and people keep asking me, are you ready for it? It doesn't matter if I'm ready, it's still coming. So we're gonna hit it hard and see if we can't at least back up what we did last year with 6 wins and a championship. But anyway, thanks to everybody. Go on your little screen right now while you're watching this and hit the little share button or however you do this. Am I saying that right, Stephen? But anyway, share these videos, please. It helps our sponsors, Citrus Safe Barbecue Grill Cleaner, Speedway Auto Auction, Doug Adams at Adams Towing, Pro System, Brown and Miller, RE Radios. They do a great job for us. There's just, John at Cleanup Supply. At Bowman Gray this year, we'll have Haviland Express Lube, Mac Allen, and those guys will be back on board with us this year. So, it helps. It doesn't just help get the word out about my videos and what we got going on. It also helps these sponsors. And without these sponsors, not just for me and my team, but maybe another driver that you pull for, share their videos. I'm not telling you to, just share Burt Myers' videos. Help these other guys. If you pull for somebody else, that's fine. If everybody pulled for the same person, it wouldn't be any fun. So do what you can to support local guys and local racing, and not just me, but everybody. So share the video, comment on the video, tell us what you like, what you don't like, but just be involved. Thank you for everything you do, and if I don't see you at Caraway, I will see you at Bowman Gray in 2 weeks. God bless you.